I don't make TBRs. Hi guys, welcome back. So I know I literally just uploaded a video yesterday and I'm actually planning to upload a book haul this week, but I figured that I need to do a TBR video. And I know that I usually don't upload any TBR videos on this channel, and it's simply because I don't follow to be read piles. I usually just pick what I'm feeling like reading and then I just read it, and then I don't have a plan. I don't have a set schedule. I kind of just go with the flow. I'm a mood reader, I'm a seasonal reader, so why constrict myself to a pile of books that I felt like I wanted to read on one day when the next week I'm going to feel like a totally different pile of books. But then this month, what happened was that in November, I actually didn't read much. I think I only completed one book, and it was only because I was on a blog tour for it. It was Dirty Letters by Vi Keelan and Penelope Ward. Maybe I should make a review video of that book because that book was something else. And I figured that December was going to be my reading month. For this year, my reading challenge, I actually set up to only one book because I didn't want to pressure myself into reading as much as I could, because I used to challenge myself to see if I could beat my previous year's read books, and then it was becoming a competition for myself, and reading turned into more of a sport than a hobby, and I definitely didn't want that. But because December is coming and 2019 is coming to an end, I still want to finish a lot of books before I move into the new year so I could focus on the books that I want to read in 2020. So my TBR for this month is set up within accordance of somewhat of a theme. But the theme is that I have at least 2 Christmas books and 1 dramatic like romance fiction, and then I have hopefully a cute romantic comedy that it's not set in the wintertime. So the first book that I picked out to read is Christmas Chocoholic by Sophie Kinsella. Now, this book came out in October, I believe, and it was very popular on Instagram, like any Sophie Kinsella book. I think Penguin Random House or the Dial Press, like the line from imprint from Penguin Random House, does a really good job at marketing Sophie's books, mostly because I think she does really well in sales. Like, she's a really popular romantic comedy author. She's kind of like the go-to author if you're in the UK, and she published a lot of books since then, and they've become 2 of them have become adapted into movies. So the first one was actually the first book that it was in the series. It's called Confessions of a Shopaholic, and that one was made into a movie starring Hugh Dancy and Isla Fisher, I believe. So this is actually the 9th book in the series, and so there's 8 books prior to this. So I also have a lot of friends that received this book from Penguin Random House, and they have been given the go-ahead to just start reading it by itself, and I have some warning about it. Like, I have caution about it. Like any series, you kind of have to start from the beginning in order to understand the relationships and the motivations behind the characters. I mean, you're not going to be completely confused because the book always does a great job at explaining a little bit like the back details of like a certain character. Like, for example, Becky is our main character, and Becky doesn't really have a great relationship with her stepsister, and because her stepsister is very frugal, very minimalist, and while she likes to spend a lot of money because she is deemed herself as a shopaholic and has collected a lot of debt over the years. So you probably wouldn't know, or you probably wouldn't understand the depth of their relationship, and you probably wouldn't connect with the characters as much. So that's why I don't recommend you to start a random book in the series. Although I do recommend you to start reading the series as well, though, because I think like it's worth your time. Like, it's good, it's funny, it's interesting, it's wholesome, it's girly. The only problems is that Sophie Kinsella is my queen, and I'm not afraid to admit that she has slipped up on some of her previous books. Some books were a little bit boring, nothing really happened, or I didn't agree with the characters' decisions in some parts, or I just didn't agree with the plot in some parts. But so far, I think Sophie came back with her last couple of novels. I really like the novel Surprise Me, which was about a couple who thought that their relationship was kind of hitting a slump, and they decide to give each other gifts and surprises to, like, you know, juice up the relationship. And then also she wrote a book last year or this year called I Owe You One, and it's about a couple that trade favors in like back and forth, back and forth. It was super cute. I really enjoyed it. I mean, like a lot of people didn't really like it here on BookTube, I think, but I appreciated it because I am a fan of Sophie Kinsella. I really want to jump back into the relationship of Luke and Becky because I've missed them for so long. It's been like maybe like a year and a half since we've gotten like a Shopaholic novel. So I'm excited to jump back in and to see what the family is doing and to revisit all the characters and all the storylines, as well as seeing their family grow as well, because she also has a child now, and it's just going to be Christmas and amazing. So the next book that I am going to plan to pick up is 25 Days Till Christmas by Poppy Alexander. Now this book I've talked about in my haul, or I will talk about in my haul because I didn't upload my haul video because the goal is for this video to go up first. But this book is a book that I saw that everybody received from Avon Books, and I really wanted to pick it up, and it was only $13. So I said, why not? This girl is named Kate Thompson, and she really loves Christmas. She would have been celebrating it like hardcore this time like a year ago or like a couple years ago. But what happened was that her husband actually went to the army and never returned back. So now she has to raise her son as a single parent, and she can't like deny it. She feels very lonely, and that's until she meets a man. They kind of figure out their lives together. Like, I think that this would be a very wholesome, dramatic, lovely Christmas novel. So the next novel that I plan to pick up is What Like to Meet by Rachel Winters. Now this book comes out December 3rd, 2019. I received a finished copy from Penguin Random House from this, and this book is not a Berkeley romance, even though it looks like it's a Berkeley romance. It's actually from their line of Putnam Books, and this book is about a girl named Evie, and Evie is like this person who motivates people to write books, to write screenplays. So she has a biggest client named Ezra, and Ezra needs to write a romantic comedy screenplay, but like Ezra doesn't believe in romance and doesn't believe in love, so it's Evie's job to convince him that it is appropriate for him to write a romantic comedy. And I guess what she does is that she sets him up with all of these like different romantic comedy scenes in public to make his heart flutter and to hopefully restart his heart. The last book that I'm planning to pick up is Regretting You by Colleen Hoover. So it's really hard for me to give up on an author that has become my auto read or auto buy author, and a lot of my friends actually don't like Colleen Hoover anymore because a couple of her recent books were a miss more than a hit. So they kind of just like, they don't see like the return of investment on spending so much time on reading this book or reading books from Colleen Hoover. But so far I am still on the Colleen Hoover train, and I am planning to read this book. So I'm actually a part of the blog tour for it from Thomas Allen Sons, and that's why they were so kind enough to send me a finished copy of the book, where we were told that there's no set release date yet for this book, but hopefully it get releases soon in December 2019. So this book is actually focusing on a mother-daughter relationship. So the mother and daughter don't want to be anything alike. I think what happened was that the mother got pregnant very young, and basically her life was changed as a result of it, and she doesn't want her daughter to follow the same footsteps as she did. And the only person that seems to really tie them together and to be a family unit is the father and the husband, obviously. But the father got into an accident that has caused a giant rift in their relationship, and I don't know if it's like a tragic accident or if it's just like an accident that disturbs the peace. This seems like it's going to be a very emotional read, so I'm excited to see how far I can get into it before I start crying. So that basically concludes the 4 books that I want to read in December 2019. I know I can read more than 4 books, and I'm more than capable of reading 4 books. I'm pretty sure like I could, if I put my mind to it, I could finish these 4 books in a week easy, and then I could pick up more books. But because I don't want to set myself up for failure, I'm only going to pick 4 strict books that I want to get to this month. But anyways, regardless, I hope you enjoyed my little TBR right now. I actually started reading Christmas Shopaholic before I started filming this, and I was like, okay, I was debating whether or not I should just continue reading this and then film this video afterwards. But I was like, okay, let's just get this out of the way, and then I could just continue reading my book. But anyways, until next time, I'll see you guys again. Bye. Can't let you go. I can't let you go. No. 우리 운명적 한 번을 get you.